Hello and welcome to join our Xinhua live broadcast in Rongcheng, East China, Shandong province. Along the coastline, we can see flocks of whooper swans are floating on the water, and they can be seen foraging for food, cleaning and flapping their wings. Each year, from November to April, tens of thousands of whooper swans migrate from Siberia, Mongolia, and other regions to this coastal city to spend their winter, adding vitality to the bleak cold wet season. The migrant birds feed the city Rongcheng as the hometown of whooper swans in China. It serves as an important relay station for the southward migration of the birds in China. Now we are in the Yandunjiao village in Rongcheng, one of the major winter habitats for whooper swans in the city. And join our live broadcast on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Zoom in on the elegant creatures with us and check out how human beings and swans can live together in harmony in Rongcheng. So here in the bay in front of the village, many whooper swans float only a few meters away from the shores that are full of tourists. They are straining the water for food, preening their feathers, flapping their wings, and sometimes bickering with their fellows. So from time to time, we can also see whooper swans spread their wings and fly over the sky, which create a lively scene in the bleak season. Whooper swans are usually known as sensitive animals to human beings. However, here in Rongcheng, we can find that the whooper swans are not that afraid of people. They are kind of relaxed with tourists. And here we can see there's a staff who is responsible for feeding whooper swans. And now we can try to feed the swans. Yeah, the swan here, they are not that afraid of people. The locals told us that the whooper swans usually arrive at night and surprise them in the morning when they open the door. This year, the first groups of whooper swans arrived on October 15 around October 15 in 2019. Now, the majority of whooper swans have already camped in their winter wonderland here, so it's the best season to watch whooper swans now. So now we can see the staff. He is feeding whooper swans. Whooper swan has a honky call, which is quite loud actually. One of the habits of whooper swans is that they like living in groups. The family members always stay together as a unit. Now we can see the tourists. They are taking pictures of whooper swans. The shores are packed with tourists. Swans usually mate for life, which means they usually keep loyal to each other throughout their life. Therefore, in China, the swan is generally considered as a symbol of loyalty. They are endowed with people's good wishes, so it's lucky to see swans with your loved one. Many adult swans fell in love in Rongcheng and revisit the once familiar place with their sickness in the next year. The young swans stay with their parents all winter. So the smaller swans, who has gray feathers, are young swans. Does this remind you of the famous fairy tale, The Ugly Duckling, written by Hans Christian Andersen? The fairy tale tells a story that a little bird who suffered from abuse because of his different appearance. And much to his delight, he finally matures as a swan, one of the most beautiful birds. cygnets are short-necked and heavily downed when they hatch out. The immature birds usually wear brown or gray feathers until they mature in the third or fourth year. Hooper swan's favorite food is a kind of seagrass, Zostera marina, and this grass is commonly known as sealgrass or sea wrack. However, because of the snow and the strong wind, now it's hard to find sealgrass here. Actually, the sealgrass that naturally grow in Rongcheng can hardly meet swans' needs. So to deal with the potential food shortage, the local government has made great efforts. They have artificially planted sealgrass here, and every year they prepare tens of tons of corn to welcome the Hooper swans. So now let's go to the shore. Now we are on the shore, so let's watch Hooper swans from a different angle. Currently, nearly 10,000 Hooper swans travel for thousands of miles from Siberia, Mongolia, and other regions to spend the winter in Rongcheng every year. Rongcheng became one of the largest winter habitats for Hooper swans in Asia. However, at the end of the 1990s, the number was less than 2,000. Hooper swans require large areas of water to live in, especially when they are still growing. Meanwhile, they are particular about the living environment. The rising number of swans in Rongcheng mainly attributes to the improving natural environment. To achieve this, the local government has made great efforts. The local government has embarked a determined campaign to preserve swans' habitat. In 2000, a natural reserve was set up in Rongcheng to protect the habitats of Hooper swans. And in 2007, the natural reserve was officially listed as a state-level nature reserve. Now the government has invested great amount of money to improve the water quality and also to restore the ecological system of the eelgrass. In November 2019, the International Academic Workshop on Rongcheng Swans Protection was held in the city. The community-based conservation management model of Rongcheng was shared with scholars and representatives from China, Russia, Japan, and other countries in the world. The village Yandunjiao sets a good example of the model. Here we can see many Hooper swans floating on the sea. They are straining the water for food and flapping their wings. Today is the weather is really good. With a history of more than 400 years, Yandunjiao village is known as the Swan village. Villagers here have a propensity to take care of the birds, and they've forged a close bond with Hooper swans. Hooper swan has become a part of their everyday life. and the harmonious atmosphere becomes an attraction of this coastal village. The unique styled house in front of us is seaweed thatched cottage, a unique local house who has drawn an increasing number of tourists. The wall is usually made of thick stone, and the roof is made of seagrass. Swan's favorite food that I have mentioned before. Now here we can see there are many food cart. The locals have sell some local foods here. The seaweed thatched cottages and the white swans present a fairy tale scene. Every year, tourists and photographers from China and abroad flock to the small town, despite the cold weather. So here we can see the photographer who is waiting to catch the beautiful moments of the swans. There are several conservation stations which are set up by the government here in the natural reserve. Because the stations are far from here, so we went to one of the stations, the Swan Lake station, yesterday and made a short video. So now here's a video. The Swan Lake Conservation Station has two staff, 62-year-old ranger Liu Zhibing and his wife, 60-year-old cleaner Zhao Shuzhen.
孩子们，开饭喽！
孩子们，开饭啦！
Mr. Liu usually patrols the area that he is responsible for at about 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. every day to check on the health of the birds and the environment, rain or shine. Along his way, he feeds the swans with corn, usually more than 200 kilograms a day, and his wife, Mrs. Zhao Shuzhen, always join him. The swans there are already familiar with the couple. They gather around the couple to eat corn, relax with their approach. Mr. Liu told us that the Conservation Department of Swan Lake disinfects the area surrounding Swan Lake regularly to ensure everything is in perfect condition. If injured and sick swans are found, the couple will take the birds to the shelter there and take care of them until the swans recover. In 2019, they have treated 7 injured swans. For the couple, the swans are just like their children. They feel gratified to see the swans grow up, safe and sound. Except for the conservation station, there are also many volunteers who work here to protect the swans and also preserve the habitat for the swans. Here we can see many volunteers are cleaning here. Let's interview one of them. 您好。 Hello, it's very nice to meet you. Can you briefly introduce yourself to the audience? 您好，您能简单请向摄像机打个招呼？
大家好，我是国网荣城市供电公司彩虹服务队的志愿者严坤。
She said his name is Yan Kun and she is from the local volunteer team of the local electricity company. How long have you been here and working as a volunteer?
从2012年开始吧，已经大约有7年了。
She has been volunteer like for about 7 years. So, have you ever received any training to become a volunteer? 就是在成为志愿者之前，您要经过什么培训吗？
我们会定期的参加市里组织的一些志愿队志愿者服务的一些培训，让我们的这个服务更加规范一些。
So he said that the local government will provide training for the volunteers. So what do you usually do here as a volunteer?
我们今天过来呢是捡垃圾，做一些志愿活动，然后呢去告知游客要文明投食，然后共同保护大天鹅。
She said that they usually these volunteer here and they clean the environment and guide the tourists to feed the swans in the right way and with the right food. So thank you for her cooperation. Now let's move on. Here in front of us we can see a swan themed restaurant. Now let's go inside and take a look. Yeah, it looks like the swan has been already a part of their everyday life. Here we can see a boat and this is local style. So now let's go inside. I have already ordered a cup of coffee online before, so now let's go to pick it. 你好，我的咖啡好了吗？好了。谢谢。Just imagine how fantastic it is to sit here, taste fresh seafood, have a cup of coffee, and enjoying the afternoon with swans here. So the locals told us that every year before swan leave, they will circle in the sky to bid farewell to the locals. So new year, new decade, and a new start. What about enjoying your winter with Hooper swans here before they leave in March? Thanks for staying with us. See you next time. Bye.